You guys, I just wanted to say thank you very much for being there and sending me love. And I felt that shit when I was in the hospital, you guys. They thought that I was, what's this shit called? Because that's how much I don't listen to people. A hemophiliac. That's what they thought that I had. And I lost over a pint and a half of blood. I had been bleeding for about 20 fucking days and didn't think anything was wrong with it. I know there's a lot of guys that watch this channel, so I ain't gonna try to fucking make you all disgusted. But it started with a visitor, and the visitor just never fucking left, and the visitor got bad and worse and worse and worse, like some Carrie shit. But I just wanted to talk about the power of your mind and how that shit really ain't no fucking joke. Like, you guys, I lost so much blood that technically I was supposed to be receiving blood transfusions and that my heart was supposed to be in overdrive. And I know I'm breathing really hard because of the amount of blood that I've lost. You get out of breath really fast. But it was to the point to where I couldn't even lift my head up. It was so bad. I felt like my head was in an ice box. Like somebody took my head and put that shit in the freezer, and then somebody took the back part of my body and laid it on a slab of ice. That's all I could describe it as. First thing I did was it started off from me going to the hospital anyways because my mom, she fucking freaked out. I got a couple of diseases that run in my fucking family, and my mother thought that maybe through being hereditary that it would get passed to me or whatever. I just canceled that shit out. I was like, I started to slightly entertain it, and I was like, no, 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 no. Those are not my symptoms. Those is not, my grandmother got diagnosed with being a hemophiliac, and then that's when they found her leukemia. She had acute leukemia, like a very, very rare skin, blood cancer or whatever. And so I'm sitting here and I go to the hospital and I'm looking for the snakes coiling up. And it wasn't even no shit like that, no, because I went to Providence. And so I had to look at the cross, which is the circle seven. I had to look at the circle seven and tell myself that circle seven. I had to look at the maid. I was about to say maids. Ooh, my bad. I had to look at the nuns walking around there and cancel their ass out. Like, you're fucking non-existent in my world. You have no fucking power. It even got to a point to where at a certain point of me staying in the hospital that somebody started praying over the fucking loudspeaker, y'all. I was like, what the fuck is this shit? What if somebody cancel that, cancel. I just kept saying it the whole time, and my mama was like, "What the fuck is wrong with you?" Like, cancel that. I know they probably thought I was just this delirious, crazy, crazed woman because you're bringing somebody in that has lost so much fucking blood that automatically in the medical field they tell you the person's gonna be delirious. They can't make fucking decisions. They probably don't even know their fucking name. I'm sitting here holding a whole conversation with motherfuckers like, give me some bioplasma before I leave. Um, and give me some iodine, because I do know that if you're on that time, you're supposed to take iodine and rub it on your wrist and rub it on your neck, on your thyroid. And you lose so much iodine when you're losing, your blood or whatever. So, make a long story short, we get to the hospital. I had to fucking get over the mind fuck of all the little shit that they had. They were using water magic. They had like all these fucking ponds that you have to fucking get wheeled past. When I got into the emergency room, before we got there, we went in the wrong way. So going in the wrong way actually gave us the opportunity to see the masks that supposedly protect you from diseases that are in the air or whatever. So knowing that I'm the only one that's up on top of my magi and knowing that everybody else is still stuck in 3D, I had to work some magi on them like, hey, everybody, you don't want to get sick, so y'all put y'all mask on. Everybody got to put a mask on, or you guys just need to stay in the car or go eat or something like that. And they were like, no, we all put our mask on. And they went in there and it was like some type of 3D flu epidemic. Like, I don't watch TV, but I do recall when I was in Vegas, there's like an entertainment room that I had in my penthouse. And I deleted the video because it was kind of asinine, me running around fucking, look at this turban head, because that's what I kept saying the whole fucking video. And manifest this turban head, you turban head motherfucker. Like, doesn't make me any better than him. It makes me actually worse. So I didn't load the video, but I remember someone turning on to the news and they were talking about this epidemic. And immediately I told them to shut the TV off. Like, this is exactly why I watch controlled TV. I don't fucking feed into none of this fucking bullshit because it's very easy for your avatar, your emotions, to fucking pick up on that shit and the frequencies that they send out. So no matter how high you are, if you expose yourself to a certain amount of that shit, it just fucking makes you just like everybody else after a while. So fast forward back to this shit. I'm in the fucking emergency room. There is stomach flu where people are just vomiting everywhere, coughing like they got fucking tuberculosis, babies screaming at the top of their lungs. And then the people that didn't have that shit all had gashes. Like boys playing around and gashing. They all had gashes on either on this part of the forehead or that part of their forehead. And I thought that was kind of weird. And so when they fucking sent me back there, they went to take my blood. And first thing that happened was the fucking girl pissed me off because she pulled out a gauge that was way too fucking big for my veins. And I was like, that gauge is too big. You're not going to be able to pull no blood. And then I started looking at my arm and she was like, what are you doing? I can do that, ma'am. And I said, I'm finding a vein for you. And I fucking looked and I was like, here's one in this arm. So then she got fucking mad because she took both my arms, like, wait, you now. And then still had to go where I fucking pointed. And then I said, and I haven't drank enough fluids. Can I drink some water first? I thought it was so fucking odd that they said, no, we need your blood right now. I said, I can't drink water and come back in here in 5 minutes and then you pull and then you be able to get all the samples that you need. No. I said, doesn't that help pull blood out of smaller veins? Well, yeah, but I mean, we need those samples now so that we can send them up now so that we can see what's going on now. And then I was just like, I looked over and I was like, see, that's that bullshit. And then she's pulling out the blood. Then she gets to the point to where that vein doesn't give her anything. So then she takes the fucking needle. If you could look in my arm, you could see all over here where she fucking fished in my shit with the fucking needle looking for another vein. So it got to the point to where people started leaving the room and me, I was already like, this is not fucking happening. This is not real. If my grandmother can take a needle in the fucking neck, if they cut her fucking neck open to put a fucking breathing tube in her fucking shit, then I can get this. This is absolutely nothing. You know what I noticed? That as soon as I started telling myself that, I don't even feel the prick of needles anymore. I used to feel that shit like, ooh, now I looked at it, and then as soon as I turned my head, that one fucking time, I took my concentration off and got cocky. I looked down and she had pulled 5 valves, but then had a big syringe pushing some sodium chloride up in my fucking shit. And I looked down and I said, wait a minute, what are you doing? And she stopped and then she was like, oh, it's just saline. And I was like, well, don't you think when you start pumping something in somebody's veins, you would like to let them know what it is that you're trying to give them? I got so fucking angry that valve shut off. So she couldn't even push it in there. She would have popped the air bubble in my shit. And she was like, oh, this isn't going to work. And I was like, yeah, it ain't going to work. And it ain't going to work nowhere else. So you got your blood, and I'm going to go back into the waiting room. And she sat there, and she's like, well, ma'am, I have another question. Like, what is your religious preference? And it was like, how does my religious preference have anything to do with the fact that I'm coming in here for you to diagnose me and tell me what you're going to try to tell me what is wrong? And I realized, oh, this is all part of their fucking game. And I was like, my religious preference is I decline to state. And everybody was like, looking at me like, shit, devil worship or shit. That's the shit. Like, it's none of your fucking business. It really isn't. You're a man. I don't have to answer to you. And get the fuck on. Like, you're human. Fuck you. And I didn't walk out of there. I rolled out in fucking style, my fucking wheelchair, my oxygen tank on the motherfucking side. And I looked at everybody in the room just looking miserable, or some people looking worried, or some people just looking hopeful, like, I'm fucking fat. I'm going to sit here and eat all these animal crackers that they left over here in the snack pile, and my doctor's going to fix everything. I was like, get me the fuck out of here. I'm not trying to pull on these other people's vibrations, because that's the game. Because what I did notice, being a parent, there's a hospital that my daughter goes to. The doctor has a sick room and a well room. And I was like, you know what? I was thinking about that. Like, this is an emergency room, right? Now, if you know you have a flu epidemic, wouldn't you have a room for people who are showing symptoms of a virus to stay in one room? And then people who just got cut or fell and hurt themselves will go into another room. Why would you put both people in the same fucking room and expose them to these viruses so that, oh yeah, there's an incubation period of 72 hours. So that after these people are exposed to this shit, 72 hours later, they gotta bring their ass back to the motherfucking hospital to get some fucking antibiotics or some shit. Wheel me the fuck up out of here. Where you want me to put you? Right there in the drop-off area. Wheel my ass in the fucking sun. He wheeled me in the sun. I took my fucking hands. I started charging. I was like, I'll be out of here. I'll be out of here and I'm just fine. I'll be out of here and I'm just fine. Then they called me back there. Ma'am, your blood is coagulated. They try to fucking scare you. Your blood is coagulated. English, please. That means your blood is clotting. Oh, what it's supposed to do when you're bleeding? It's supposed to clot. And she was like, oh, yeah, I know, ma'am. Like, yeah, you're not going to run that fucking shit on me. You're not going to fucking scare me. Your blood is coagulating. Really? You got a fucking emotional reaction out of me. Now you can program and tell me whatever the fuck you want to fucking tell me. You're not going to play that game with me. No, I know what that means. I may have not understood the medical term when you first said it. But now that you fucking gave me the layman term, no. My shit is just fine. That means that my blood is doing what it's supposed to do. And then she was like, well, we don't know if you're going to need a blood transfusion. I said, cancel. And she just stopped talking, and everybody looked at me like, what the fuck? And I was like, we're going to cancel that. I'm not going to need a blood transfusion. And even if you brought some bags of fucking doped up blood, I wouldn't fucking take it. And she was like, doped up blood? What do you mean by that, ma'am? And I was like, I mean that, have you ever been to a blood and plasma center to donate blood? The people that walk in there are fucking bums, are fucking tweakers. And I'm not getting that energy. And you're not pumping my body up with that fucking energy. I don't fucking think so. There's other ways to make me rebuild my blood in my body without you giving me somebody else's fucking blood. Just like you try to give me that fucking sodium chloride. I know the difference between whatever the fuck you were trying to shoot up me and a fucking salt bag pack, because they're not even labeled the fucking same on the outside. So let's try again. So she just fucking looked at me like, this bitch is off her fucking shit. And she didn't want to deal with me no more. So they sent another fucking nurse, which was in my favor. It was a male nurse. And he came over and he was like, yeah, what did he say? He was like, so you wouldn't get a blood transfusion if you need one? I said, no, I know my blood type, and I brought my match with me. Like, you brought your match? Yeah, my mom's out eating across the other side of the parking lot, so, you know, if it really got down to that, that's where I'm going to get my blood from. But all that other shit that you're talking about, I might have to get a blood transfusion. I'm not taking one. And they were like, oh, okay, well, we can test your mother. I was like, you guys have her records, you know, do what y'all gotta do. And so then they had me sitting and waiting for like fucking hours. Hours just waiting until I fucking got up and was like, I will fucking take this wheelchair, turn this oxygen mask upside down. This is just in my fucking head. I was saying it out loud because I know physically it makes no sense. But I said I will take this oxygen mask, this oxygen tank upside down and turn it to 25 and have that shit push me out of here and I'll crip walk the fuck up out of this bitch because I don't have to be here. It was like once they got my blood and they sat back there for a little while, they were like, as soon as I said I was gonna fucking leave, I got bumped past every fucking body. Like, man, we got you a room right here. And I sat in the room and it was like they tried to send like 3 or 4 nurses in there trying to fucking convince me that I was gonna have to get a blood transfusion, and I had to cancel every one of them bitches. Like, nope, cancel that, cancel that. Like, there's a possibility that you may need this because you know when you don't want your heart to work too hard and my heart isn't working too hard. I feel just fine, ma'am. Do you feel any pain? Like, usually people get pain in their body and I don't feel anything because I have a strong threshold for pain. Therefore, I don't feel any. And the doctor was like, lucky you. Like, you don't feel any pain? I was like, no labor pains, no broken arm pains, no broken ankle pains, no broken finger pains, no pain. And he was like, oh, but were you diagnosed with some disease where you can't even feel if your fucking skin's on fire? And I was like, no, I was never diagnosed with that, but I have a high threshold of pain. Look up my medical records. And he was looking at my medical records and was like, wait a minute, you were walking an hour after your cesarean and that was your second one? I was like, yeah. He was like, I know your doctor very well. Well, then he would already let you know that I already know what time it is. Maybe you should go fucking get that motherfucker phone call because I haven't seen that man in years. And the only time I see him is when I have to, you know? So, no. And I don't have to. Like, now that I fucking realize everything, I didn't even have to fucking go to the doctor. I sat there. These motherfuckers kept me under observation for hours and hours. I went and got some MRI and some motherfucking shit they did where it was so much fucking blood that they had to put pee-pee mats under me and then pee-pee mats on the fucking floor. I bled everywhere like a murder scene. And motherfuckers was still trying to figure out how is this bitch cracking jokes? I was cracking jokes with everybody. I made everybody laugh their ass off. Like, you're not about to get an emotional reaction out of me. I'm going to program you. I'm going to program this shit. I'm going to make the nurses laugh. I'm going to make the fucking lifters and pushers laugh. I'm going to make the fucking doctor fucking crack a smile. And doctors never fucking laugh because they have to have a hard heart to deal with the shit that they fucking see every day. So it's just like to make all them motherfuckers laugh and then to have people like, man, thank you. Like, thank you. You made my night. You made my hours move fast as hell. Like the lady who was coming to do the ultrasound, MRI, and some motherfucking shit. I told her, she walked in the room. I was like, someone ugly, please. And she was like, what? And I was like, someone ugly, please. And she was like, excuse me? And I was like, girl, I look like fucking shit. My mouth is all fucking dry. My hair is sticking up. Your ass coming here looking gone with the wind. Fabulous. This pretty ass Filipino girl. She was a badass bitch. I was like, you need to take that shit somewhere else. Because them scrubs ain't even hiding all the stuff you got. You can put that shit away. And she was dying laughing. She was like, you're fucking crazy. And I was like, man. And she was like, well, this is what the funny thing was. They were all trying to convince me that I was pregnant some kind of way. So my mom looked at me crazy. I'm looking at my mom crazy. Like, this is a miracle, baby. And then the lady's like, I don't see any signs of any pregnancy, any baby, anything inside of you. She was just like, I don't know. And I was like, well, shit. Well, that's fucking good. Like, I was cracking jokes when she was doing that shit. She was trying to hold a straight face. She was like, do you want me to wheel you back because the pusher guy is helping somebody else and it's gonna take a while? So she actually took me back to my room And I was cracking jokes with everybody, y'all. And I made light of the situation. Make a long story short, they kept me under observation because they were trying to figure out how I lost so much fucking blood. I didn't pass out. I was very alert, and how my heart wasn't going into overdrive, like my blood levels. That's what they call your blood levels. Like if your blood levels are dropping low, but your heart is pumping extra to try to make more blood for you. My shit was just normal, and they were like, the doctor came back in and was like, you know what? He was like, I had to talk to you about a couple of things. Like, we didn't see any signs of any kind of pregnancies, tubal or uterine or da 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 da. But what you tested negative for endometriosis, and we didn't see any signs of that, and we didn't see any cysts or anything on the ovaries. And then he goes, but my whole thing is, while you're doing all this bleeding, what are you taking? Is there anything else that you're taking? And I was like, bioplasma. And he was like, what is that? Because plasma is the stuff that you need to keep your body operating. And he was like, bioplasma. And I was like, cell salts. And he was like, you're a very smart girl. You're a very smart girl. And everybody in the room was looking. And I let my mom, like, I told you about them cell salts. You don't know nothing about that. I'm a fucking genius. I just kept saying that. I'm a motherfucking genius. And he was like, trying to hold a straight face, like this broad is a mother, has her mother who looks like she fucking 12, and it's a fucking random ass white guy sitting here, and she's talking about I'm a motherfucking genius. Yes, because I am, and you know I am, and that's why you be sitting there studying my blood, and you probably still got valves in my fucking shit, trying to mail that shit off to make some fucking melanin shots and all that other shit with it. Long story short, I'm not a hemo whatever those people are that keep bleeding. I don't have that shit. I tested negative for every fucking thing. So now they're just trying to sit here and watch me and figure out like what's going on. I have to go get my hormones and shit checked. I'm not even gonna go back for that fucking shit. Fucking wasting my fucking time. You know? Wasting my motherfucking time. I even had to claim that shit back. Like all the hours I lost sitting up in here, I'm gonna get that back a million times fold. Um, I did, however, want to say thank you to everybody because I did make another video and my stupid ass had it where my earphones were plugged in, so you didn't hear anything I was saying. And Original Man, Noble Empress, um, and what was it, Black Man Eric? Yeah, Black Man Eric and the Mario. That's it. Thank you very much. Thank you for sending out that love. I really felt it, and I wasn't afraid. Like when I started feeling like I was getting out of my body, or if I was in between, I felt like my body was laying on a cold slab of ice, like somebody had took my fucking head and stuck it in a fucking freezer, and it was like my blood, you could feel it fall into the back part of my body and getting really cold. I wasn't even fucking scared. I was just like, shit, if it's time to go, then let's do this shit. Let's do this. I'm ready. I'm fucking ready. And I think that's what has me still present. I can't describe it. I probably sound like some fucking crazy ass lady, but I have to keep this bracelet on just in case I randomly fucking pass out while walking around my house. I'm gonna keep it on for probably another hour just to look at it and get a laugh. I love you guys. And my next video is gonna be knowledge. It's not gonna be personal shit. All right? Ashe.